Welcome back, everyone, to ESPN's continued coverage of the UEFA Champions League with Tommy Smith. I'm John-Paul Della Camera, getting ready for Athletic Bilbao at home versus Juventus. Let's talk about some of the key players who you'll be watching in action today. We're going to start with the home side, Athletic Bilbao. Known as Erzaiz, he scored 1 goal in the Champions League. It was the last match day against Galatasaray. He has scored 5 of his team's 9 goals in the Spanish First Division, trailing only Raul. They will depend on him to score goals today if they're going to get 3 points in the standings. Here's his teammates.
Well, of course, Alcorta, very well known, had a couple of years in Madrid, and he's a very, very strong player at the back. He struggled a little last season, but he's come along this season. And Echeverria up front, the number 17 player. He was their top goal scorer last year. They'll certainly be looking to him. It's the one thing they haven't done with any consistency is score goals.
Now, from a defensive standpoint, there are many players that they will have to watch. Here's the top gun to watch, Del Piero, who is now the captain of Juventus. He led the Champions League last year with 8 goals. He's coming off of a scoring drought, both internationally and on the club level. He had both goals in the Euro 2000 qualifier against Switzerland and the lone goal in a 1-1 tie last weekend versus Vicenza. They need him if they're going to win this on the road.
Well, they certainly do, and they're going to partner him up front with Inzaghi. And, of course, the French hero, Zidane, will be right behind him. In midfield, it'll be Davies, Deschamps and Delivio. Pessotto and Burandelli will be out on the outside of the defenders with Tudor and Montero in the middle. Of course, Peruzzi, always capable at the back.
Tommy, this team has had a lot of injuries, and because of that, head coach Marcello Lippi says that his club is playing at about 35% of their capacity. 18 degrees Celsius as we get ready to start. And the reason the field is slippery, it's a new field pretty much. The grass field has been totally relayed since match day 1 against Rosenborg.
Well, so many stadiums around Europe just keeps having problems with grass, and this is one of the stadiums here.
Kim Milton Nielsen of Denmark is your referee. He was a referee in World Cup '98, and he was involved in some recent Euro 2000 qualifiers. Del Piero in the black and white of Juventus, and he now wears that captain's armband. Peruzzi used to be the captain and Conte before that, but now it's Del Piero. We are underway. Juventus on the road. It's a critical match, though. Marcello Lippi says today's loser will find it very difficult to qualify. Pessotto has it broken up, and Kim Milton Nielsen will blow the whistle. First infraction is spotted. The game's not even a half-minute old.
Well, if Juventus lose today, JP, they're sitting on 2 points, and they're really in tough shape. A draw won't be the end of the world for either team, depending on what happens.
Carlos Garcia putting it back in play. We are having some technical difficulties from Stadio San Memes, and while we are, let's tell you about the suspended players, or at least potentially. Next yellow card would send these guys out. There's some key players for both sides, including Urrutia, the Athletic Bilbao leader.
And when you look at the opposite side, Deschamps, Burandelli and Tacchinardi and Delivio, all key players. Mirkovic and Fonseca, well, they come off the bench, but, you know, that's a lengthy list.
6 for each, so 12 players in jeopardy if they get the next yellow card, and technical problems have been straightened out. We thank you for your patience, and it's cleared up by Athletic Bilbao. Looking long, but finding nothing. Juventus try to come back. A couple more technical problems that we apologize for from San Memes. Sold out crowd. The stadium seats some 40,000. We're just about a minute and a half old, and it is scoreless. Echeverria had a great year last year, trying to make a name for himself on the club and, if he can, international level.
Well, Valencia was the goalkeeper that everybody thought would be the starter, but Echeverria has taken it away from him.
Juventus will bring it back. Down the right flank they come. Deschamps was showing for the ball, but they don't play it to him. Now the flick was denied. From the halfway line, Athletic Bilbao will try to build on it. Size all the way to this right flank. 7 is Imaz, and that one is cut off, well read at the back by Juventus. From the left wing, they'll try to break it out. Knocked out. Throw in coming up for Juve.
Well, Imaz will have a lot of speed on the right hand side, and they're depending on him to go forward quite a bit. it looks like a couple of substitutes warming up already, which really surprises me.
Juventus stringing passes together. Zidane will play it back. They try to go forward. They've got the double threat up top in Del Piero and Inzaghi. Intended for Zidane, pushing through. He may get it yet. Off a deflection, it's coming back to Echeverria. And he'll clear it.
Oh, Echeverria not making the wise choice, just bang it out of there. He doesn't want to make a mistake early on. The one thing you don't want to do is give Juventus a goal.
From that left side, it's finally taken over by Athletic Bilbao and played ahead. From the left wing, the cross inside is going to be headed up by Montero. This will go out for a corner.
Once Montero's in there, he really solidifies this defense. One of the toughest central defenders in Serie A or in any league, I'd imagine.
Corner kick coming up. Peruzzi looking on. Guerrero getting ready. Kim Milton-Nielsen checking something out here in the 5th minute. And we're going to see a substitution. Roberto Rios for Alcorta. That's what he's approving. That's somebody's got to be hurting here in the 5th minute.
I'm very surprised. I saw Roberto Rios up jogging around, and I thought there was no way he was going to take him on, but he did take him on.
Ball is cleared away by Juventus. Athletic Bilbao will get it back. This header right at Peruzzi. You know, Alcorta did not play in the last club game against Valencia, but he was rested because he had played in a Euro 2000 match, and maybe he picked up a knock there and he just wasn't ready to go today.
Well, they're not losing a whole lot because Rios is a very, very steady defender. There's a lot of people felt that perhaps he should have been on that Spanish team that went to the World Cup final in France.
And that ball didn't seem to be kept in. Olivio on the wing. Ball will be turned over to Athletic Bilbao in the 6th minute. Bilbao currently struggling in Spain in 8th place. Davic is back to help his keeper. Back to Peruzzi. And a rare mistake for Peruzzi on a ball where he had plenty of time.
Well, he generally doesn't make mistakes like that, but he was looking for the little soldier, Olivio, on the wing, and he just put it into touch.
Bilbao looking to break, and on that right side, it's going to be played up the wing. Olivio. And it's pushed back to Peruzzi.
Oh, very dangerous play there, shoving the ball back to Peruzzi in a situation like that, a crowded area.
Tenes Larrazabal. He'll get it back. And he'll send it along. Intended for Orzaiz. This one to the far side where it rolls out. Pirandelli on the chase. It'll be a throw-in. 7th minute. Scoreless match. Still Juventus ball. Good effort from Alquiza. Pirandelli now a regular on this side. On that throw into Zidane. Zidane's been away with the shot for Euro 2000 qualifiers against Russia and Andorra. Little jersey pulling. Kim Milton-Nielsen's got to bring that back. Davic was brought down by Guerrero.
Well, Guerrero before Raul, he was the golden boy of Spanish soccer. Still considered a heartthrob along with Raul, but he hasn't produced the goods.
Juventus working it up by the corner flag. Some more holding going on as Inzaghi was held. Athletic Bilbao will take it up the right side. Davic tried to close that down. Coming all the way back to Peruzzi. Here's Zidane. Zinedine Zidane holds, now takes on players on the dribble. Beats a couple, wide to Delivio. This is blocked into the box, it comes, and cleared out by Athletic Bilbao. Zidane handball.
Well, Delivio, I'm not sure why, but there's been a lot of talk about various situations around the Juventus club, but Delivio seems like he's putting on a couple of extra inches too. And that's been one of the things about Del Piero, that he developed very quick muscles. But if you look at Delivio out there, he has really developed into being a very stocky player in compared to what he used to be.
Juventus will clear it out of the back. This is going long and too long. There'll be a throw in coming up. Defending at the back, Carlos Garcia. Off the Del Piero touch, taken away and cleared by Athletic Bilbao. This one's still scoreless in the 9th minute. Back to Peruzzi. And another bad clearance by Peruzzi, but Bilbao cannot plug the hole. Montero closed it well. Intended for Deschamps. Cut off by Guerrero.
Oh, that's one thing. Montero, he has such great anticipation of the ball, such great vision, and knows when exactly to step up.
Roberto Rios.
It would remind you a little bit of Lombardo, who used to play with Juventus here. Same style of running and same hairstyle, or lack thereof.
Athletic Bilbao now up that far sideline. Larrazabal knocked out. Throw in for Athletic Bilbao.
Well, Larrazabal's such an important part of this team. I mean, he's their key free taker, and they're looking to get quality crosses in from him. He's going to have a tough task over there with Birondelli.
This one hops free. Into the box for Athletic Bilbao, but that shot goes wide. And a goal kick coming up for Angelo Peruzzi. You're watching the UEFA Champions League match day 3 coverage from Bilbao, Spain. Hope you're enjoying this one with Tommy Smith. I'm John Paul Dellacamera. This one's scoreless after 10+ minutes between Athletic Bilbao and Juventus. Juventus has been to the European Cup final now the last 3 years, winning it 3 years ago in that final and then losing the last 2 years in the final.
Well, they really got to pick up their game if they're going to get to this year's final. I mean, the pressure is on them now. They need to come up with a good result here, and they have a couple of very tough games ahead of them. Everybody thought when they looked at this particular group there was going to be a cakewalk for Juventus, but I don't think so.
Remember last year they just about made it, and then they went all the way to the final. Maybe that'll be the same deal this year. We'll see. This should be a great game on Sunday. Juventus versus Inter Milan. Check your local listings for the time in your area. Ronaldo is back with that team. This one's deflected, and Peruzzi's got it. I was about to say, not only is Ronaldo back on that team, but also they're coming off that disaster last week to Lazio.
Well, anybody who was with us last week, we had 2 brilliant Italian games. I mean, the other one was brilliant too, with Roma getting that last-minute victory. We can only just hope that this week's will be as good.
Orzaiz is brought down. No foul call there against Montero. Edgar Davids brings it up. Pezzotto. Alquiza going wide on that pass. Still controlled by Athletic Bilbao. Nearly 12 minutes gone. First half. Alquiza. This is deflected into the corner. Good long run. Echeverria. And this goes out. It's Tudor on the chase. Doing well at the club level and also trying to make a name for himself internationally with Croatia.
Well, moving around a little bit. They had been using him on the left side. I thought he was going to be a ready replacement for Ferrar if he didn't come back. We don't see Ferrar out there today. He's not dressed, but he was dressed for the game last Sunday in Italy. So he's making good improvement, and they expect him back very shortly. So maybe now they're going to push Tudor over on the right-hand side.
Del Piero. Juventus still looking for it. Here's Delivio. He's got Deschamps with him. And this one goes out. Throw-in coming up for Juventus. Another push, but Rios gets away with it. Outside of the box for this quick one that goes wide of Echeverria. Inzaghi's first chance.
Well, Inzaghi's having a frustrating time, not just tonight, JP, but he's having a frustrating time, although he did score a goal on the weekend. It's not the kind of a year that himself or Del Piero expected. Look at that shot. I mean, that is just no explaining why the shots are so far off target anymore from Juventus.
Juventus have only scored 7 goals in 5 Serie A matches, and even though they win a lot with their defense, normally they do score more goals than that. They sure did last year. Del Piero's goal last week against Vicenza was his first in about 6 months at the club level during the regular season from Serie A. That's Delivio. Not called up by Dino Zoff recently after seemingly earning a spot under Maldini for the Italian national side. Long clearance by Juventus into the box. It comes, but not enough of a flick that time with Inzaghi busting in.
Well, Bilbao have done well against Italian teams. I mean, they played them 5 different times, and every time they came up with a comprehensive victory in European competition. But Lippi has been playing this game down, and I think he just wants to make sure that Juventus don't get unnecessary pressure on them. He's saying it's just another Champions League game. I somehow just don't think it is. I think it's a little more than that.
Minutes gone in this first half, which is scoreless between Athletic Bilbao and Juventus. The other game in Group B today is between Rosenborg and first place Galatasaray. Into the box it comes, and Juve will clear. Not well. It's shot back in, but right towards Peruzzi.
Well, you're going to see the situation develop here. Good shot coming from way out, and Peruzzi pulled it down well. Alquiza got the drive on it.
Soto lost it off the touch. Somehow he kept it in, apparently. Del Piero still going into the box, but now the whistle will sound. It probably sounded before, but no one heard it. That's what Del Piero was saying.
Well, when in doubt, play on. That's what any coach will tell you. You know, if you don't hear the whistle, if you're not sure, just keep going, and maybe you can make something happen. We've seen situations where, you know, it wasn't called back in the end.
Foul called on Montero. Restart coming up. Davids and Tudor are backpedaling. #11 is La Cruz. He's also got 1 yellow card from a previous match. He's only 20 years old. La Cruz is ready. Intended for Urzaiz, and that's broken up. Urzaiz has been pretty well marked back there by Juventus. Guerrero is brought down. He and Deschamps collide. Deschamps was sought after by this team a few years ago. There are rumors that Athletic Bilbao may make another offer for him. A lot of clubs in a lot of countries, though, would like to get Deschamps. Throw-in coming up for Birondelli's Juventus.
Well, I think the reason why he would like to play with them is he was born in the Basque region of France, and of course Athletic Bilbao considered a Basque team here in Spain, so be a tradition.
Athletic Bilbao trying to bust free on that wing, but Birondelli's got it covered, but he will knock it out. Birondelli has one of their Champions League goals. Inzaghi has the other 2. Davids. Inside the box, and now it goes wide of Urzais.
Oh, Urzais is not getting a whole lot of support. Nobody pushing forward with him. He's been kind of battling up there on his own. We thought that Echeverria would be involved, but he's laying a little bit off.
Imaz going wide to the right for this cross inside, and it was deflected. Peruzzi with a marvelous save.
We're going to see the ball squared across in the middle. Watch how quickly Peruzzi reacts to this. Peruzzi got a finger onto it, and he just shoved it up over the top. Beautiful ball, well weighed in. Larrazabal in the middle. He gets the touch on the ball, and it's knocked over the top.
Corner kick. Guerrero. And this one goes wide. Roberto Rios pushing forward. He came on as a sub after the game was only a few minutes old for Alcorta. No further word as to why he came out, but you'd have to guess an injury for sure. Peruzzi, long clearance. Roberto Rios heads it back. Looking for Urzais. Look at the holding going on there. They're both holding on. They'll go with an advantage call, and Peruzzi will cover it up. Way too much holding going on out there. Now he's going to bring it back.
Well, Delivio's having a conversation with him.
Well, this is interesting. He gave the advantage. You can bring it back, but normally when you do that, you're giving out a card. At this point, he says advantage. Now he's bringing it back. But
well, I think the advantage didn't work out, so he's exercising an option which not too many referees use. It's there, but
yeah,
for some reason we never see it used.
It's the first time I've seen it without coming back for a card. Guerrero and Larrazabal around the ball. It's Guerrero's. Right back, good play. Knocked out. But a little creativity on the part of Athletic Bilbao on that restart. Still scoreless. We've played over 20 minutes here. An important matchup in Group B. Remember, we're at the halfway point today, so these teams play each other on match day 4, only it will be in Turin.
Well, that's why it would be huge if Juventus could come away with a victory today and then look forward to another 3 points at home.
Out of the back, Juventus has it picked off. Guerrero wanted to get it back from Urzais. Not a good ball back to him. It allows Juventus to come back and defend. That was Pezzotto on Guerrero.
Oh, no question about Guerrero being a talented player. He made his debut with the Spanish team when he was just before his 19th birthday, gone back in 1993, but he's never fulfilled the role that many people thought he was going to have in Spain.
La Cruz on the throw-in. And a giveaway right to Juventus. Delivio from Tudor. Deschamps, one of the French heroes in the World Cup '98 squad. Here's the real hero who scored the 2 in the final in the 3-0 win. Zidane giving it up on the right. Back across. Juventus were looking for Inzaghi at the other end. Pezzotto. Also remember that World Cup '98 squad. Davids, who played for Holland, that's broken up. Davids has seemingly found a home here, though, with Juventus after the disastrous half a year or so with Milan. Athletic Bilbao with Guerrero moving it into space. Well covered by Birondelli. Peruzzi helps it out. And Juventus will lose it over the sideline. Dutch football coming your way on Monday. FC Utrecht versus Feyenoord. Check your local listings for the time in your area. Seems funny to look at the standings now in Holland and Nazi Ajax on top like they were all of last year.
Yeah, but I think that may change very quickly. They're getting very close.
Yeah.
They're starting to inch up that table, you know.
They've had a lot of injuries.
They had a huge win over the weekend, 5-0.
Juventus back to cover. It'll be their ball. Deep in their own territory. It's a Juventus throw-in. That one was blocked away. Creeping up near the halfway line. Rios is there to knock it away. Getting possession back for his side. Del Piero muscling in. It's coming all the way back.
Well, Rios got that surprise call in very early, and he's done very well. He's reacted well to it, and sometimes it's hard to come in off the bench like that.
Juventus will break that one up in the middle. Edgar Davids. Davids and Zidane. And that's busted up. This is a great Juventus midfield when everyone is healthy. The flag is up on Urzai's.
Well, you know, they have it set out exactly the way they wanted it. Deschamps is the man who does all the stopping in the middle, as we see this offside call on a good one. And directly in front of him, you have Zidane, who does all the creative work. And out on the outside, you have very capable players in Pizzotto and Delivio.
Roberto Rios brings it back, formerly with Real Betis. He puts it into space, nobody there after it. Pirandelli will take over for the visitors. 25th minute, still scoreless.
Well, Luis Hernandez, the coach of Athletic Bilbao, has said that the best player in the world was Zidane, and he was the player that he was most dreading marking today. But they've done a pretty good job on him so far.
Urrutia is on him now. From the wing, Athletic Bilbao looking for an opening. They'll find it now as it's played back on the right side. The cross to the middle, headed wide.
Well, Imaz is definitely their playmaker. He's the man who's providing all the opportunities in the middle. You see the ball drifted across. Good header, but just wide of the target. Peruzzi looked like he was struggling just a little bit. If the ball is played down along the wing, we're going to see it switched across there. And Imaz is in the middle. Echeverria, we thought that Echeverria might be the man in the middle, that Imaz would be providing the crosses, but they're switching it around pretty good. They're keeping that defense honest.
Pesotto holds. Montero lets it go back for Angelo Peruzzi in his 8th year now with Juventus. He would have been the starter in World Cup '98, but he was injured prior to it, so Pagliuca took over as #1.
Then, of course, Peruzzi got that red card in the first game of the Champions League, so it hasn't been a banner year for him.
Deschamps and Zidane. So good together. Oh, nice flick on. Deschamps holds. Shot taken was blocked off Inzaghi. Covered up by Echeverria.
Well, if you had a choice out there and you rated everybody on a 1 to 10, the last man you would really want to feel are the forwards to get the ball in that kind of a shooting position is Deschamps. He doesn't really have a good shot. He hasn't a high percentage scoring rate. He's their defensive midfielder. You want Inzaghi or Del Piero getting it there.
And Echeverria had the 4th best goals against average last year in Spain. Long clearance and not a shot. Instead, Peruzzi just picks it up. Peruzzi named the best goalkeeper last year in Serie A. Had a poll taken during the offseason. Same poll said Lippi was the best coach, Juventus the best team, Del Piero the best Italian player.
We didn't get a mention, no?
No, not eligible. This one goes out. Throw in coming up for Athletic Bilbao. You wonder, Tom, if these two sides are a bit tight, a bit nervous, knowing what's at stake here?
Well, there's so much at stake for them, and the home crowd really makes it difficult on the home team to play well, because they get on them every chance to get. They're looking for a card against the Juventus player. Tudor going back there, did a little bit of pulling down, and this man is certainly getting himself all over the place, isn't he? Echeverria. Igor Tudor got the pull on him and give up this free kick just outside of the box. Man has become very lenient. We've noticed that in Euro 2000. He doesn't pull the card as quick as he used to, Mr. Nielsen.
Guerrero is ready. On this free kick, it's coming through. Peruzzi looking. Unable to knock it home. There was a chance there. La Cruz cutting across.
Oh, La Cruz kept cruising across the box, and he should have put this one into the net. Watch how easy it would have been to put it in. Bad mistake by the defender, allowing the ball to get through, and La Cruz just heads it wide of the post. That one should have been buried.
Peruzzi fortunate that time. That's Giuliano who has just come on. This is a strange game in terms of substitutions. Giuliano is in for Pesotto. Now, is Pesotto hurting, or is this tactical, you think?
Oh, I think it's tactical, because that defense is not playing very well, so they're putting Giuliano in, and we're going to see what kind of changes they'll make. They're going to push players around a little bit here.
Giuliano's had some injury problems this year, otherwise he would be in the starting lineup. Olivia now defending on the opposite side, knocks it out for a throw in deep. La Cruz, number 11. Came to this team in 1997 after playing in Spain's second division. Off the throw. In the box, the turnaround is blocked, and it goes out. Another throw in, a little bit deeper. La Cruz is ready. 30 minutes gone in this scoreless match from Bilbao, Spain. Throwing to the near post. A double header. And then it's blasted out by Zidane. Well over the halfway line it comes. Athletic Bilbao take it over, and they'll play it back to goal. Echeverria clears. Chased by Tudor, but he knows it's going to be Juventus ball, so he lets it go out.
So what they're doing now is they're pushing Birondelli up in midfield, and they're going to push Tudor out on the wide right. They're going to have Montero and Giuliano in the middle.
Here's Birondelli. Davids. Look at this pressure. Birondelli lost it. Athletic Bilbao will clear. Saiz giving it up. They'll play it wide. Echeverria. Diving header clearance. It'll go out for a corner. That was Deschamps.
Oh, Deschamps coming back doing a lot of defending. So is Delivio. It's almost like Delivio has been put in on the outside of that back four, the way he's playing so deep. And we have seen them do that with him before. He's done that on the national team a couple of times when Saki was coaching it. Will come back and play as a defender.
Guerrero on the corner. He'll keep it in play. To the far side. That one's headed out by Juventus. Not out of danger yet. And finally the clearance. Zidane helping out. Helping out the defense there from Estadio San Memes in Bilbao, Spain. You're looking on at match day 3. This Group B match is scoreless between Juventus and Athletic Bilbao with Tommy Smith. I'm John Paul Delakem. We thank you for joining us on this Champions League Wednesday. Oh, you can hear it. Kim Milton-Nielsen will bring it down. But he could have brought out a card on Alquiza.
Well, Alquiza and Deschamps come together, and Alquiza kicks Deschamps' foot just at the same time as he got the ball. He kicked it too. He actually came away with the ball because he kicked him so hard.
Juventus playing it up the wing, and that's out of play. More Italian Serie A coverage coming up on Sunday. AC Milan versus Roma, and rumors of some discord amongst the Milan players. Weah and Ba saying they want out.
Yeah, it seems like there's a bit of a problem, all right. Weah doesn't like playing on the left side. He doesn't like being a left winger. He wants to be a striker. Luis Hernandez taking his seat again after doing a bit of coaching.
Di Livio hits the deck. Ball is picked off. I thought there may have been some acting there. Tough to tell. Let's see. Deschamps is saying no, he didn't do it. Well, they always say that.
Well, Deschamps is not a very popular Basque member at the moment as he puts his hand up and he makes sure that Larrazabal doesn't go any further. Oh, there's acting there. I mean, he may have caught him a little bit, but he didn't catch him that much.
Not even good acting.
Easy for me to say, right?
Yeah, it didn't look good. 35th minute. Free kick. Athletic Bilbao into the box it comes, and Peruzzi punches it out. Both fists, long clearance, a good one. Alquiza. In the air, Montero. Montero gets another piece of that. Di Livio's back. Di Livio is basically where Pesotto was before he came out.
Oh, he's such a hard-working player. Does track back very well. Does defend very well. Doesn't shoot very well. He's not a good. He wouldn't make a good forward.
Played inside, and that's well wide of Peruzzi and high as well. Goal kick coming up. La Cruz making the run.
Oh, La Cruz, a great prospect, only 20 years old. Made his debut last year.
Peruzzi. Towards the halfway line. Guerrero got a touch. And Montero heads it all the way back to Peruzzi, so he can use his hands there.
Montero directing traffic.
The Del Piero pass was blocked. Davids.
Well, Edgar Davids is having a tough time getting himself into this game.
So much so that he keeps changing his own position on the field to try and help create something. Here's Zidane. Deschamps. The Del Piero flick, he wants a handball, he gets it on Rios.
Del Piero wants more than a handball free kick. He wants a yellow card as well, but Nielsen's not giving it.
Davids, long one, it's deflected. And it'll go out for a corner.
Well, the goalkeeper was in trouble there with that deflection. He had no idea where the ball was going. Here's the deflection. Look at that. The keeper's flat-footed.
Juventus on the corner kick in the 37th minute. Di Livio. All the way to the far side. Headed in. Cleared out by Athletic Bilbao. Alquiza lost it to Davids coming back. He'll do the work. Deschamps is back. Igor Tudor played in a couple of Euro 2000 qualifiers last week against Malta and FYR Macedonia. Throw in for Juventus. Del Piero brings it back. Now Zidane. Zinedine Zidane's pass. Dangerous play. Well, Kim Milton-Nielsen had his arm up, and I thought he would have blown the whistle too, and that's what the players are complaining about.
Now he has blown the whistle, and he's going to give the advantage to Juventus. Del Piero wanted the free kick in this part of the field because he's so adept at putting the ball in the net from around here. Birondelli, I think, was almost got his head taken off with the boot.
Del Piero is ready. It's within his range, certainly. Now in the 39th minute, still scoreless. Del Piero is ready. He strikes it low. Deflected. Wide. Juventus had a chance to go up.
Oh, Del Piero is looking for a corner kick, but I think it's a good call. I think it was last deflected by a Juventus player, and it was. Zinedine Zidane got a touch onto it. Inzaghi's inside, but he can't get close to it. There it comes off Zidane and just goes wide of the post.
Good replay, good angle. Clearly showing off Zidane. Well, two players landing hard. Delivio is one of them.
And Cruz says, okay, get up.
Delivio looks like he's played 2 games with that dirty uniform now. Alquiza. Going long to the right wing. Echeverria, who's on that World Cup '98 roster for Spain, a team that disappointed so many. Giuliano. Long clearance, and this will go out too. Quick throw in, Inzaghi. Good idea for Del Piero, but it was a good idea for Rios too. He knew it, and he clears. Well, Nielsen's not making many friends here with either side as a referee today.
Oh, Rios, you can see complaining. Rios, an interesting story. He was born in Bilbao, but he spent most of his years playing with Seville. And he was a record signing when he was signed by Bilbao. Let's see what he was complaining about. Oh, that ball is out. I'm not sure how he can complain too much.
Echeverria. This one is still scoreless with about 5 minutes or so remaining in the first half, depending on stoppage time. Athletic Bilbao looking for a scoring chance. It's wide to Urzaiz. In front, it's blocked. And cleared. Right back to Alquiza. Oh, it's a congested middle. Davids clears. Delivio. Almost turned into a good ball towards Del Piero. Del Piero goes down with some help from Carlos Garcia. Montero is back. Peruzzi. Now Deschamps from Tudor. And a Roberto Rios foul. 27-year-old. His dad was an ex-player and technical director of Real Betis.
Well, that's where he had a good career. The player himself played 71 games for them before he was signed here by Bilbao.
Zinedine Zidane in the 42nd minute. Zidane created some news, didn't he, this past week when he said he may not stay till the end of his contract, which goes to 2002.
What I'm wondering is he didn't really say where he was going or where he might go. There's been a lot of speculation. A lot of these players are wanting to head towards the Premiership, and you know, if you look at Serie A with us every Sunday, I think I can see why, because there's so many chopped fouls that careers just don't run as long in Italy as they do anywhere else.
Echeverria clears. Urzaiz heads it up. Delivio has to chase this one down. And it's knocked out. Angelo Delivio will be one of your hardest working players on the field for either side. Any game you choose, he's always there busting his tail. All the way back at the halfway line. Urzaiz got a touch, but he lost it. Juventus playing it into the box for this shot. That's right at the goalkeeper, Echeverria. Inzaghi was there. Coming up at halftime, we'll give you highlights from 2 other matches of the Champions League, plus our first half highlights. That could have been a highlight, especially if that ball had gotten through.
Oh, the keeper grabbed it nicely.
Rios. And the whistle will stop play in the 44th minute. Each team has made a sub. We presume for injury on the part of Athletic Bilbao when Rios came in for Alcorta about 3 minutes into the game. The other substitution, Juliano replaced Pesotto around the 29th, 30th minute, and that was probably for tactical reasons. We're not sure of any other injury Pesotto may have brought in.
Oh, I think Delivio gives up a corner, but you can tell his work rate is just so good. He's always moving around, always trying to create something. Bilbao with 3 corners.
Tudor marking up Imaz right now. Actually looking on at this 3rd corner. Echeverria. 11 goals last year, led this team. Played across, knocked away by Juventus. We're in the final minute. We'll see how much stoppage time they put on. First half winding down. It's Juventus ball. Intended for Echeverria. Peruzzi will play it wide right side. Birindelli has been on that side, but then Tudor took over for him as Birindelli pushed up. Headed down by Inzaghi. Davids. Delivio. 1 minute of stoppage time will be put on. And that's where we're at now. First few seconds of stoppage time ticking off. Juventus and Athletic Bilbao in a scoreless one from San Memes in Bilbao. You can hardly hear that whistle.
Oh, this Juventus team doesn't look like a patch on the team that we saw playing last year for them. No movement, they're not creating the opportunities. I mean, Del Piero has maybe 4 or 5 touches on the ball in the first half, and Zaghi maybe with 2, 3.
Roberto Rios with time running out of the first half, launching it inside the box. On the run on the right side, it's going to be cleared up the wing, but out of play. Last touch by Juventus. Birindelli was over there versus Imaz. Throw-in coming up. It'll probably be just a throw-in, and that's it, as Kim Milton-Nielsen is looking at the watch as it's launched in play, brought down. 1 block. Juventus looking, and they clear finally. And now the whistle has sounded from Kim Milton-Nielsen. But he let that one play out there, and Athletic Bilbao could have used one right there at the finish.
Oh, it certainly would have been a good time to get it. There would have been a little controversy had it gone in.
Seemingly the time had run out, but he let it continue for a few more seconds or till the end of that play. Not a very strong performance for either side.
No, they didn't. Juventus didn't play very well in the first half. Athletic Bilbao had a few opportunities, just couldn't beat Peruzzi.
It's an important Group B match, but after 45 minutes, neither team has been able to score.
Going to be a good team, but this is a different situation here. I mean, there's plenty of time left in the Scudetto, but there's not a whole lot of time left in the Champions League.
Realistically, you're looking at 6 match days, and we're at the halfway point now after today. Kim Milton-Nielsen blows the whistle. Second half is ready to start. No additional subs. Each team made 1 earlier in the first half of play, and the second half begins from Bilbao.
And if this result were to stand, then you're sitting down there with only 3 points out of 3 match days. Depending on what happens with Galatasaray, you could be in deep trouble. I mean, Juventus have to hope and pray that Galatasaray is going to get beaten today.
In an expanded Champions League, no longer do you see the top 2 teams advancing, so it's the group winners and the next 2 teams with the best second place record.
Well, there's only one sure way to go through, and that is to win your group, but Juventus are making heavy work out of that.
All the way back. Echeverria. 25-year-old goalkeeper. Made his debut in '97 against Vallecano. And Valencia has not really been heard from since. He's been their backup.
We started 56 of 57 games last year. That's an incredible record, even for a goalkeeper.
Juventus long ball intended for Inzaghi. Played long. And all the way back to Peruzzi.
Oh, Peruzzi trying to jumpstart the attack. Juventus like to walk the ball out of the back.
Tudor will play to the halfway line. Deschamps. Now Davids. And now it's Athletic Bilbao's turn. Not for long, but that foul is called. Quick apology from Montero.
Well, Montero generally doesn't take any prisoners, doesn't usually make any apologies, but that time he did. Uruguayan international, very, very tough as a central defender, following the footsteps of his dad. His dad was a good international too.
La Cruz on this free kick. Cleared away by Juventus. Roberto Rios sent it back the other way. From the left flank. Into space, but right down the middle. No one near it for Athletic Bilbao.
Well, it's not a game that's ever going to find itself onto tapes if you're trying to teach how to play the game, because neither team's coming up with a very good performance here. Very lackluster, a lot of giveaways.
Off one tackle, it's played wide to the left. Guerrero. He'll cross it to the far post. That's too far. Juventus will bring it out. Birindelli and Zidane. And out of play it goes. Birindelli will have a throw in. And he'll go back. Montero. De Livio. So far, the non-factors have been Del Piero and Inzaghi, but they've had no supply of the ball. It's the midfield that has let down Juventus. Athletic Bilbao again. 49th minute from the left. Alquiza. And it goes out.
Well, you can see Athletic Bilbao are used to having a little bit more time on the ball. You have a little bit more time on the ball in the Spanish league than you do in the Italian league, and it's causing them a little bit of problems. They get one or two good passes together, and then all of a sudden they get shut down.
Echeverria was dispossessed. Zidane took a bit of a hit, but he broke off the tackle. Cleared by Rios. Edgar Davids, former Ajax star. Montero. Del Piero started the attacking run from deep, trying to find Inzaghi, but it's broken up.
Well, Inzaghi had two defenders draped all over him.
Another one that goes out of play, and another throw-in coming up. Marcello Lippi and the cigar always close together, it seems.
Well, there's strong reports that Lippi may be leaving, but he says he's not committed to anything like that at all. Rumors that Alex Ferguson may eventually take over as the coach of Juventus.
Loose ball gathered in, cleared by Deschamps, but then given away. And in turn, Athletic Bilbao will lose it. Very animated Luis Fernandez, 39-year-old coach and an ex-player and a very good one, who also played for France in that great midfield on that 1986 World Cup team with Platini.
Fernandes was the man who set up many of those great situations for France on that team. Great playmaker.
Juventus coming down, but the last defender makes the play on Del Piero. He fought hard to try to win it back. Del Piero playing with perhaps a little more fight and bite defensively, wearing that captain's band.
Well, this is his team to run now, and you know, if they win the Scudetto or don't win the Scudetto, Del Piero is going to get a lot of the blame or a lot of the credit, depending on which way it goes. Certainly when you have a team that's been in the last 3 finals of the Champions League, it's a very hard team to do anything with. Winning 1 of them, losing 2, they'd like to go back again and win it. That's a hard record to compete with, isn't it?
I mean, when you think about it, 3 times. And they were favored to win them all 3, actually. Knocked out a play. Throw in coming up. Athletic Bilbao ready. Inzaghi defends against the throw-in. A lot of people thought Juventus would be favored right now to win this Champions League again, and they are struggling. They're always a favorite for the Scudetto, where they've won 3 titles in the last 4 years. And Juve will take it, not for long. Cleared away by Athletic Bilbao. This is as banged up, though, as I've ever seen Juventus over the last 3 or 4 years in terms of injuries.
Yeah, they're just having a problem getting the players back when they want them. Although, when you look at that team that's out there, JP, I mean, that's a team that could play in most countries. I mean,
still very good, yeah.
Most teams would be very happy to have the players out there that they have. And I think Lippi's overstating it just a little bit in the fact when he's, you know, laying a lot of the blame on injuries. There's a little bit of the chemistry not firing here on this team too, you know.
You just look at their bench: Tacchinardi, Fonseca, Conte, Mirkovic, and at the start today, Giuliano was there. I mean, that's a starting lineup. That's part of a starting lineup for most teams. Off that restart for Athletic Bilbao, Peruzzi's got it. Peruzzi's already missed 1 game in the Champions League. Rampula played in that last match at Rosenborg after Peruzzi was suspended from a match day 1 indiscretion, handling the ball out of the box. Delivio with his cross. The keeper was backpedaling. That was near disaster for Athletic Bilbao, especially with that man Del Piero lurking on the doorstep. Here's Davids.
Well, the keeper just got enough of it to change the direction of the ball and take it away off Del Piero's head. That was the key on that one.
Delivio. Tough tackle by Rios.
Well, you're going to see Delivio slap it across. Watch the keeper get a hand to it. Just gets enough of it to take it away from Del Piero.
Zidane back to live action, looking. Echeverria's out. A dangerous play as he came pouncing on that ball with Inzaghi there.
Oh, it was brave keeping, and he brought his body round behind the ball before he made the grab at the ball. He was afraid he might have been a little bit late to it, but he wanted to get his body in a good position to grab it.
Athletic Bilbao looking at the other end for a chance that doesn't come. Montero scoops it out. And over the halfway line, this goes out of play. Pirandelli. Oh, a knock there on Del Piero. Guerrero broke it up. Athletic Bilbao, though, find the strength and resolve to keep it forward until Davids takes over and plays it back. Back again for Davids. Tackle away from him. Athletic Bilbao on a break. 3 on the attack. Broken up on the left side. Oh, no whistle. Athletic Bilbao allowed to bring it in. Wide open on the left side. Alke's up. It was so late by the time they found him. And now a whistle for an offside, apparently.
Well, he was standing in there that long. It looked like something had to happen, and obviously it was an opportunity for the defenders to move out. Watch Alcazar. There's 2 players offside. There's 3 players offside at this stage when the ball comes in. Took the referee a long while to acknowledge that flag. Flag was up for a long time.
Hockey's there should have seen that situation and dropped back a little bit. And then maybe run towards goal. Seemed like they had a numerical advantage. Delivery over to the near sideline. He's getting closer. Luis Fernandez may hit him accidentally with all those gestures. Davids. The Montero pass. All the way back it comes, deep the other way. Birindelli will look. It goes too far away from him. La Cruz lets it go out. He'll have a throw in. Athletic Bilbao will clear in the 57th minute. The goalkeepers have not had to come up big today so far. Brøndby and Manchester United. More Champions League action. You will see it Saturday. Check your local listings for the time in your area. Peter Schmeichel expected to go against his ex-mates. He's been bothered by his stomach problem, but says he'll go today.
He was their leading goal scorer one year. Scored 7 goals. He was playing in goal at the time. Strange kind of a record to have, isn't it?
Awkward touch for Juventus. Maybe not so awkward today when you look at the big picture. Ready for the throw-in. They're making a change. Guerrero is going to give the captain's armband away, so he's going to be subbed for. And he doesn't look too pleased about that coming out.
Well, he had a tough time. He had a few good touches in the first 10 minutes, but after that he was out of it.
And his replacement, Esquero, who also comes in with a yellow card against him. Came to this team this summer from Mallorca after helping lead them to the Cup final. And you see where Mallorca is. The top 3 in Spanish League standings now. Foul there called on Athletic Bilbao. And an obvious one on La Cruz. Birindelli is ready. 23-year-old now in his 2nd year with Juventus, but starting most of these games. Inzaghi towards the corner flag and now further out. Turn around, a sharp shot, nice save. Echeverria.
Well, the Shams comes up with the big shot. This man kept them in the race last year. He had 6 out of 7 shutouts in the last 7 games, and there's one of the reasons why. Brilliant reaction save coming across. Not a bit superstitious, is he, wearing that number 13?
Del Piero played it across. Echeverria punched it out, and then that one's cleared way out of play. Echeverria will put it back in play for Athletic Bilbao. He won't turn 26 until next March. Here's his best save.
Well, the Champ, that tells you something about Juventus, the way they're going. Look at that ball. It took the keeper an eternity to get to it. But when the Champ, their defensive midfielder, is the man coming up with one of the best opportunities he's had all night, just goes to show you the way things are going for them.
Geruzzi at the other end will launch it from a sold-out Estadio San Memes in Bilbao, Spain. You're looking on live at Matchday 3 coverage in Group B. Juventus and Athletic Bilbao are scoreless. Each keeper has probably made a good save or 2, but not that much more.
Oh, you're going to see coming into your living room. Deschamps cuts down the player coming across. Escazero gets rocked.
He just came on, so he's officially in the game.
Oh, he is a good shot. They're taking him in now to see if he can maybe sneak a goal from long range.
Zidane was plowed over. That's not good on the lower back. Alquiza brings the ball back.
Well, Zidane just steps over it, and then somebody steps over him.
Third year with his team. Alquiza plays it back. Wanted the return pass, but instead that foul will prevent any kind of a pass from Urrutia, who is wearing the captain's armband. He wore it the last game too, and Guerrero did not play.
Oh, Del Piero guilty of a tackle from behind.
Long clearance. This is deflected, but Peruzzi sees it all the way in the 62nd minute.
Well, Peruzzi's kind of gone back to the original colour of Juventus. He started out wearing pink jerseys, and that's what he has on him out there today.
Montero clears. And this one goes out. Birindelli has a throw-in. We're nearly at 62 minutes.
Well, you can see how close the crowd are to this one. I mean, you can hear every word that's been said out there.
Juventus only asked for some 600 tickets, so 99% of the fans here anti-Juventus.
Well, that ball was 100% out.
Normally Juventus play well too when they have their backs to the wall, and you could say that they're almost in that situation here, but they've not played well today.
Well, Lippi said he didn't mind about playing in this stadium. He said we played in many stadiums where there are 100,000 people or more.
Peruzzi clears over the halfway line, or right at it. Athletic Bilbao will take it back. Starting play from the left wing. Off one missed kick. Juventus will try to keep it alive in the near touchline. Birindelli was there with Esquero.
I thought Fernandez was going to take it himself.
He's not that far away, is he, from the line?
Well, he doesn't look like he's that far away from being able to play in either. He always looks like a coach that keeps himself in brilliant shape.
Echeverria took the shot. That's going to be blocked out by Juventus for a corner.
Strangely enough, the man who took the shot there, that's one of the things they always say about him. They say he's a little bit chunky, that he carries a little bit of extra weight. Who am I to tell? Before you said it.
I was thinking it. Corner kick coming up. Athletic Bilbao with Echeverria.
Great minds think alike. I won't finish it.
Echeverria has been capped 10 times by Spain. He's only 21. Playing it inside. Loose ball. Peruzzi looking. He gets some help. But some miscommunication. It seemed like Peruzzi could have caught that. Meanwhile, Deschamps heads it out for a corner.
Well, that's what we know Deschamps to be good at. We know him to be good at playing defense. But tonight, we've seen him take a few rockets.
Yeah, he's had an uncharacteristic game for him.
Well, he's had more shots than Inzaghi, and that tells you something.
Echeverria from the opposite side of the corner, their 5th one of the day. Echeverria to the far side. A chance or a half chance. Where Zayas couldn't come around on it. Alquiza. Settled on the left. Echeverria. Nice cut inside of that pass. Juventus now getting players back. Echeverria's cross knocked away. Again, it's a corner. Giuliano back there defending for Juventus. He came on around the 30-minute mark for Pesotto. Five minutes gone in this scoreless match from Group B. Echeverria to the far post. 2 players holding on, and then one falls with Del Piero leaning. Peruzzi will put it back in play.
Well, you know, you look at what Lippy's talking about, and I'm not sure I agree wholeheartedly with what he's saying, JP. I mean, Montero, Birondelli and Tudor are going to be playing in that back four. And you look at the midfield, I mean, Delivio is going to be in there. Deschamps is going to be there. Pessotto most of the time, and Zidane most of the time. And Davids. And the two men up front, Inzaghi and Del Piero, are going to be our starting 11. So I'm not sure where he's finding out, unless a lot of these players are playing with injury.
From the halfway line, it's moved into space. Montero is back, supplying coverage against Imaz. There's some nice communication there with Montero. And he'll play himself out of trouble, but then he gave a bad ball to Zidane. Athletic Bilbao had that one covered. Alquiza misplays it on the wing. Zidane has some space. One of the few times today. Great ball. Inzaghi. Cleared away by the keeper. Echeverria.
Oh, Echeverria came out and he just put his foot to it. He didn't decide to save it with his body, with his hands. He wanted to make sure he got it. And even if he was going to come out of the line, he was afraid coming towards the end. And he just pulled on it. I mean, that is a good save by the keeper, and it's well cleared away. Inzaghi a little bit slow controlling the ball. He lets it run away a little bit from him, but Echeverria makes sure nothing's going to happen.
Throw in on the opposite side for La Cruz. La Cruz will loft it. Who wants it? From the far side. Athletic Bilbao will pick it back up. Cleared away, intended for Urzaiz. And it's back to Echeverria. Football de España comes your way live on Saturday. That's for our Latin America audience only. Celta taking on Real Zaragoza. Echeverria clears. And Juventus with Montero will send it the opposite way. Athletic Bilbao trying to split two. No whistle. Just whistles from the crowd, from the partisan fans. Birondelli is back, being pressured by Esquero. Birondelli almost gave it away. Touch up for Zidane. And this goes out. Juventus ball and throw it.
Oh, we're going to see the ball dropped inside. Let's see what happens. Tudor is going back there, and he just gives a little bit of a push. Echeverria goes down. It's shoulder to shoulder. You're never going to get a call in the box like that.
Zidane putting some pressure on. He gets called. Larrazábal getting right back up. Former under-21 international and a member of the Olympic team.
Well, Zidane coming in on top of him, just running right over him.
70th minute now. Still scoreless. Athletic Bilbao and Juventus. And back to Peruzzi it comes. Boy, if Galatasaray could win today on the road, and it shouldn't be easy, against Rosenborg, they could end up with 7 points today and really extend themselves over these teams like Juventus, Rosenborg, and Athletic Bilbao.
Well, if Galatasaray have to win and this stays as a draw, JP, it really puts a lot of pressure on Juventus, and Athletic Bilbao will be under even worse pressure because they're down at the very bottom.
Luis Fernandez, when he talks, you better listen. He's been there. On the clearance, this goes out. Giuliano rounding his way back into playing shape after some bouts with injury.
Oh, he has really been one of their most consistent players over the last 2 years. Never figured to be involved in the plans. I mean, at one time when we were doing games, they didn't even know how to spell his name. They couldn't get it right on the team sheet. And now he's an established star with them. going to see a little bit of a look at this one. Inzaghi getting tossed down. Echeverria. Alquiza, a lot of players involved.
Davids knocked away and out. Throw in coming up for Juventus.
I would say this is the most inconsistent game I've seen from Davids since he started playing with Juventus. You know, he had games like this when he was playing with AC Milan, but when he's playing with Juventus, he's generally very consistent.
But so many players have not played well at all for Juventus too today. What a day to play collectively as bad as they are. Del Piero better watch out with some of those missiles flying out of the stands. Del Piero will send it in. Echeverria lost it. Great recovery. And now he has some help for the defense. Alquiza came back.
Oh, just when you talk about those missiles out of the stands, Dino Baggio with Parma last night in the UEFA Cup was hit by a missile which Parma are now saying was a knife. He had to get 5 stitches in the side of his head. They were playing in Poland.
This one goes out of play. Bilbao winning the possession game, but they're not doing much with their 53%. Neither is Juventus with their 47%. I mean, if this keeps up, it's not a game that either coach is going to want to look at for training or study purposes, other than to say we didn't play well at all.
Well, you're going to see this ball coming in. Echeverria's lucky here. He loses the ball, but he has pushed it out wide enough, and trying to get a boot onto it there and bring it in. Giuliano is not famous for scoring goals, although he did score a goal 2 years ago that won the Scudetto for Juventus.
La Cruz on that throw-in. Well, some holding going on there. Kim Milton-Nielsen has been reluctant to take out a card, though, today. The fans want a card, and they're right.
Well, Giuliano absolutely grabs a hold of him. Look at, I mean, he's just making no attempt to play football at all. It should have been a yellow card.
In any country. Restart coming up on the free kick for Athletic Bilbao. Alquiza. Peruzzi punches it out. All the way back. Urrutia. A chance here off a deflection. Peruzzi was going after it. It goes away for a corner.
Oh, you're going to see the situation. Reyes comes up with the shot, and it's just knocked away by the defender.
Set for another corner. Juventus defending with Birandelli at the near post. Echeverria is ready. Nearly 74 minutes gone. Right to the near post it went. Flicked away and out. Another corner from the opposite side. Well, if you're Juventus, you've got to be concerned. You can't keep giving away these corners. When it looks like the run of play is not going to produce any goals, you hate to give up the corners and the free kicks from close.
Well, they're saying 60% of the goals in the world come from set pieces, so you don't want to allow them that 60% opportunity.
Here's the shot, and Peruzzi's got it somehow. And somehow was the key word there. Or Zayas, I believe, got it. That happened so fast.
What was I saying? 60% of them come almost 100% in this game. That was a great opportunity. Well taken. Peruzzi did very, very well with it.
More contact in the 76th minute. Athletic Bilbao will put it back in play. Now the Peruzzi save keeps this one scoreless on a day where it looks like one goal is going to do it. That could have been it. Rios. This one And goes wide off a deflection. And now out.
Well, let's see this one coming in. Watch for her eyes in the middle. He's going to pull the trigger on this one so quickly. Look at that. And almost changed direction inside.
And he was screened too. That's what made it an even bigger save. You're not sure when he actually saw that ball. I'd love to be hearing some of the explanations the referee has given today. Takinardi is getting ready to check in, and Edgar David's day is ending.
Well, I suspected that might have happened because Edgar Davids had a tough time in the first half, and it continued into the second half. Never got himself involved in the game.
And he has played so well, as you say, for Juventus. I cannot recall him not playing 90 minutes for Juventus. But he'll only get 76 plus today. Peruzzi's off the line. A one-hand punch out. Right back in it comes with Peruzzi down. That could have been 1-2. It's deflected out. Should be for a corner, but let's see.
Oh, let's see what happens inside here. You're going to see the ball knocked through. Here's the save. That was the one that Peruzzi made. He caught it right between his knees. This is the second effort here on the one that should have been a corner. La Cruz.
Well, instead of the corner, it'll be a goal kick. Peruzzi sends it long. 78th minute. Unless something dramatic happens here, each team is looking at a point in the standings. And the bad news, if you're looking for a goal right now, is that both goalkeepers are playing at the top of their game right now.
Well, they've made the key saves. Both keepers coming up, but here in the second half, a couple of, they weren't in trouble too much in the first half, but they've certainly earned their keep here in the second half. As we see the Champs go down.
Urrutia taking him down. He gets called for that foul. Zidane switches. 4 players around the ball. That could have been a dangerous play. Nimas inside the box. Inzaghi shot, goal, and it's not going to count. The flag was up. Inzaghi's over. Controversy, let's see.
Well, Inzaghi's standing in an offside position right now. As the ball is played in, I'm not sure how he can even complain. He never, when he receives the ball, all right, he's onside. But when he makes his move to go to receive the ball, he is in an offside position, and that's the end of the story. And there's a yellow card for complaining.
I still find it tough. I mean, he deserves a yellow card. He's showing up the referee's assistant, but when you don't give out a yellow card for some vicious tackles from behind, from the serious holding, I hate to see it go for that.
Yeah, it's a very feeble yellow card, isn't it? I mean, you know, he just wanted to make his point of view known, and as long as he doesn't insult the referee's assistant or something, what's the point in giving him a yellow card?
Inzaghi scored some big goals too for Juventus on the road.
Oh, he took that one so well. You know, he just turned around and smacked it, but lack of concentration. He started out in an offside position, and that's the key. I must say it was well spotted by the referee's assistant.
Yeah. Match day 3 is what you're watching. This Group B match between Athletic Bilbao and Juventus is scoreless. Inzaghi has the only yellow, and he almost had the only goal. From the right, inside of the box, and it's stopped. Echeverria denies Zidane.
Well, Zidane not having one of the best nights of his career, and either. This time he cuts into the box, makes a nice little move here. Echeverria, a lot of power on it.
Deflected out by Deschamps. Throw-in coming up.
Well, there's the shot. Look at that. It's a rocket. You can just tell from that slowed up how quick it was going.
We're going to see the final substitution. It's Fonseca.
Del Piero's coming out.
Oh, that's interesting. So he will give the captain's armband away as well. Normally Peruzzi gets it. Here is Fonseca. Well, they need some offense. They need a jump start on a day where one goal will probably decide it if either team gets it. Fresh legs and that wicked left foot from Fonseca, especially on the free kicks too. Inzaghi and Zidane. Lippi was probably going to take out Del Piero or Inzaghi, and lately Inzaghi has looked just better.
Well, I suppose if it had been at home, he might have put in Fonseca and perhaps maybe taken out a midfielder and let them play with 3 attackers. But on the road, it'd be kind of unusual to do that. You'd be leaving yourself open to a lot of second guessing if you got beaten.
We've seen him do that. Throw in coming up again. We remind you about Football de España live on Sunday. Our Latin American audience only. Espanyol versus Barcelona. Barcelona is undefeated after 6 matches, but they only have 2 wins. So it's a slow start for them. Another restart coming up here. Deschamps gets tagged.
Oh, you're going to see a nice turnaround. Echeverri and Deschamps came in, just cut him down.
Alquiza is ready. He'll launch it. Did he ever? Well, that's not how they draw it up in practice. Alquiza, 27-year-old, played 1 time on the under-21 team for Spain. He's been on this team since 1994. Peruzzi sends it up. Out on the right flank, Juventus looking for some space. That's Fonseca. Broken up. Larrazabal. And that's picked off by Juventus. Well, Juventus, Tommy, wanted the 3 points. They said they would come in here to win it, but the bottom line, they can't afford to lose the 3. At some point, they've got to figure on the point for the draw. And maybe that point is coming, if it's not here already. In the 84th minute, in the bottom line, they can't make a mistake and have that ball go in the back of their net.
Well, they can't, and you can see Deschamps getting a grip of Echeverri, and you could see Zinedine Zidane was in front of him.
Deschamps, one of those players that come in with a 1 yellow card. Settled in the box. Athletic Bilbao looking for an opportunity that doesn't come. Echeverri is blocked. D'Olivio, he'll clear it. This is going to go out. Throw in coming up for Athletic Bilbao.
You know, depending on how things go, and we understand that Galatasaray may be behind at this stage. So if Galatasaray lose their game, a draw becomes crucial in this game here because of the situation in the next games.
Good point. Because Juventus would actually be gaining a point on Galatasaray if you look at it that way, if they get a draw. Headed down to the box. Off an awkward clearance, and Peruzzi comes out after it. Peruzzi sends it up. And the flag goes up on Athletic Bilbao. 85th minute. Time running out on each of these teams who have designs on 3 points in the standing. D'Olivio on that chase, it goes out.
Well, you just have a definite feeling that if somebody could score 1 goal here, would probably win it for them. The way it has gone.
And Inzaghi thought he had one, but he was ruled offside, and the replay backed up the referee's assistant. Played across. That shot was rushed. Alquiza, save. Peruzzi got the arms up.
Oh, Peruzzi. He almost ran onto the ball. He almost ran out too far. And he made a great reaction to knock the ball down. That was a brilliant save by Peruzzi because he was completely out of position. His body was going the wrong way. watch it here. The first one should have been put away. As the shot comes across there, it should have been put in. And then you're going to see the second shot coming in. Brilliant save. Alquiza was the man who got the shot on. And Peruzzi, great save.
Urrutia is now leaving. And it will be replaced by Jorge Perez. Number 23, left-footed player. Made his debut last year versus Valencia. Only played in 7 games. Foul called at the other end. 87th minute. Both coaches are looking for a hero, and right now they can look in their respective goal mouth areas, because those are the heroes right now. And each save from here on in, like the one that Peruzzi just made, is the save of the match.
Well, that one certainly was, because he had just committed himself and did a great job to be able to recover.
Another one into the box, headed up by Athletic Bilbao. Peruzzi was going to come out. He changed his mind. Hesitation can many times come back and bite you, but it didn't that time. Zidane. Fonseca, Inzaghi. Here's Inzaghi in the box. And he's broken up. "87 minutes gone now."
Well, here's the ball coming down. Did Zidane handle it? Came very close.
Back to live action again. We've got a throw in for Juventus in the 88th minute. And it's a long plane ride back to Turin if you lose points from this point on. Longer ride.
Well, you just wouldn't want to be sitting beside Lippi, that's for sure.
Play it goes, still Juventus ball. That's Alquiza, who's had a strong effort today. Montero's throw. Kept alive by Juventus. They'll go wide. Rio said it was offside. There was no flag up. Inzaghi goes after it. And his boot was almost introduced to Echeverria.
Oh, Echeverria coming out low. I see the ball coming whisking across, and Echeverria knocks it down, and Inzaghi comes out on top of him. The only thing is, if Galatasaray are beaten and Rosenberg goes on top, they'll have only 5 points, and I mean, it'll be almost a certainty that you're going to have to win this group to qualify out of it. The second team in this group won't qualify, I don't imagine, because there'll be such a small amount of points. I mean, there are some groups already where the second team have 6 points in it.
Takedown on that far side. Delivio says, where's the call? Where's the card? He's wearing that captain's armband since Del Piero left. Normally Peruzzi does.
That's very unusual. I don't think I've ever seen him wear the captain's armband before.
Echeverria clears. Collected, and Athletic Bilbao will lose it. Juventus moving it out in the 90th minute. Stoppage time becomes key now. How much will be put on? Offside for Zeiss. Zeiss has not really had many opportunities today. That one great one he had, Peruzzi nailed it, made a great save. Looks like 3 minutes. Stoppage time.
Oh, that seems like a reasonable amount of stoppage time. Whatever.
Something like that. From the far side. Montero had played it up. Now to the wing. Here's the cross. Echeverria lets it go wide. And Juventus are unable to pick it up, but it'll be their ball on the throw-in. Tacchinardi. That was a crunching hit. No foul was called. We are in stoppage time by about a half minute of an expected 3. More bodies fly. Well, Deschamps and others are very fortunate today because we said at the top, 12 players come in with yellow card warnings, and he'd be out the next game.
Very lenient.
Sure.
Very, very lenient. That's been a number of fouls that he's been involved in like that.
This is 2 games in a row where we've watched Kim Milton-Nielsen let a lot go. One was the Euro 2000 qualifier last week, and now today. When you let a lot of things go, the players will take advantage. Inside the box. Look out here. Takinardi pounces on it and clears.
Oh, that was dropping down just on the penalty spot. Great opportunity, but Takinardi did well.
Off the referee. Alquiza maybe mistook him for a teammate.
Well, he's playing with them all night, so.
I'm letting that go. There's Alquiza. He'll take some ribbing for that.
You're going to see it breaking through. Fonseca gets sandwiched. Rios, to call him the monster. You can see exactly why there. Oh, that ball was out.
Well, there's no doubt now. But it's Juventus ball in the throw-in. And there's about a minute or so left in stoppage time. Athletic Bilbao building up to the halfway line. Swept away by Juventus. Look at the work right there.
Referee got in the way again. Yeah. I guess the referee's getting tired here. He's not going to get out of the way.
Well, the crowd's on his case, too.
Well, he says he wants to eventually end up playing with them. He's not showing any signs of friendliness towards them tonight, is there? Look at that for a pull down on Perez.
Deschamps again. Off that free kick, into the box it comes. One header going wide and out. Corner kick and probably the last opportunity. Juventus better defend this one well.
Well, it's something to do very well. You don't generally see scores against Juventus off set pieces.
After this should be it. Echeverria inside. Cleared out. Kim Milton-Nielsen with the whistle to his mouth. That'll do it. Well, this one was a tough one for both of these teams, Tommy. They'll each get a point, but neither played anywhere near their best.
No, they certainly didn't. And Juventus in particular, there was no flow to their game at all. No opportunities for Del Piero. It was such a bad night for him that he was taken off.
Collectively, not a good effort, but individually, a lot of the stars did not play their best in this one today. The 2 goalkeepers, though, were spot on. Peruzzi on one side, and on the opposite side,